Hi, this is Chloe from Inner Whispers, and today I'm going to be unboxing the Radiant Rider Waite Tarot in a tin. I really like this idea of having it in a tin. It makes it a lot handier for carrying about in your handbag, for example, if that's something you want to do. And it's just a nice sturdy format and protection. I normally, if decks come in a box, then I normally put them in a bag, but if they come in a tin, then I do generally leave them in the tin because the tin format is really nice and easy to open, the tin itself, as opposed to the pack inside it. And it's also such great protection for the cards. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to get this Radiant Rider Waite in a tin. Another of the reasons is that this is my favourite colouring of the Rider Waite. If you compare it, for example, to the original Rider Waite, there are a lot of kind of grey cards, and even the yellow cards, it's quite a, I don't know, I don't like the colours anywhere near as much as the warmth of the colours in this Radiant version. So these are the very traditional cards. I'm not going to show them all because, hey, everyone has seen the Rider Waite before. But another thing that I did want to highlight about this deck is the size of it. Stop right there. And so if we compare it to the regular Rider Waite, you can see the size difference. This is the Radiant in the large version, and here is the mini original Rider Waite. So it's a kind of in-between size, and for me that means it's going to be nice and easy to shuffle, for example. Even if you have small hands, it's not going to be a problem. Compare the sizing there. It's going to be a very easy deck to shuffle, and it's also very portable. As I said, you could put it in your handbag, and it's also great in the sense that I'm going to use it for putting on my altar. I don't have very much space on my altar, so I most traditionally use the mini Rider Waite Smith. But it'll be nice to have a second deck that I can also use that's small but not that small. And if I have two spells on the go, then in case they ever cross over with cards, which does happen sometimes, I have this one as another option. And it's got the same backs as the original Radiant Rider Waite. So it's just a smaller version. The colours seem to be slightly different in some instances, but it does still have, as I'm looking through it, it does still have a nice colour palette to it. And it feels, this is something else that someone mentioned actually. So here we can see the colour contrast. The sky in the new tinned version is a bit more indigo rather than just dark blue, which is rather nice actually. But the crayfish is still the same colour. So the colour's perhaps a little bit darker. And also the feel of the cards is a little bit less greasy. I used to think that it was just because the Radiant Rider Waite was my first ever tarot deck. I chose it because I was told I needed a Rider Waite type deck, and I preferred the colouring to any of the others. And it does have a kind of greasy feel to it. I thought it was because I've just used it so very much, but actually someone else was commenting on it as well, and so I think that it's to do with the gloss finish, and these new cards in the tinned version don't have that. They don't feel slick, they just feel smooth, and they definitely don't feel greasy. So I'm really looking forward to using this lovely deck. Blessed be. I just had to add a little side note on this because I've been having a look at the Little White Book, which really is a little white book, and it's quite funny. It has a nice little section at the start talking about Edward Waite, Arthur Edward Waite, A.E. Waite, and also about Pixie Smith, a little bit about their life, about the history of tarot, the different decks that sort of were precursors or alongside it, and then it has the divinatory meanings, and these are quite funny. I think they must be, they're taken from the Key to the Tarot by Waite, and some of them really are a little old-fashioned and funny. Like the magician is skill, diplomacy, address, sickness, pain, loss, disaster, self-confidence, will, and the querent himself, if male. So using it as a significator card, and the High Priestess equally is the woman who interests the querent if male and the querent if female. So how come the magician isn't the man who interests the querent if female? Anyhow. And then we have something like the Ten of Cups. Appearance of cups in a rainbow, it is contemplated in wonder and ecstasy by a man and woman below, evidently husband and wife. Of course, you couldn't possibly have your arm around a woman who's not your wife. His right arm is about her, his left raised upwards, as she raises her right arm. The two children dancing near them have not observed the prodigy, but are happy after their own manner. There is a home scene beyond. So it's quite sweet and funny. I'm not sure that I would use this for a beginner in truth, but hey, how many of us watching these things really are beginners in this art? We're always learning, and we can take joy in that as well. And yes, we also have the Celtic cross as a spread here. So yes, a funny little white book, but all of it, at least in English, so there is a decent chunk on each card if you wanted to use that.